Welcome to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. This show is all about honoring you as a spiritual being, having a human experience. You are here for a reason, and it's no mistake that you are here on Earth right now. Spirit has guided you to this very moment in time, so you could hear the messages Pam is about to share with you. She is a multi-dimensional healer, light language channel, transformation coach, wife and mother, committed to helping you discover the tools and practices to empower you to live the best life you can. You get to choose the spirit path you take. You can connect to the spiritual guidance already all around you. Get ready to live a fully empowered life. This is the Empower Me Show.
Welcome everyone to the 21-day full body system wellness program. My name is Pam Bright and I am your host for this adventure today. We are doing soul contracts, which is an amazing adventure. We have just finished phase 1, where we went through the whole human body experience and what it's like to be a human self without spirit. And now we just finished day 2, and this is the last day of the self with spirit. So very, very different energy this week. And I'm so happy to have my 2 wonderful friends and loved ones with me, Mac and David. Yay, awesome. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to do this together for this adventure. So we're going to start with a little grounding, okay? Because we need that. We need that as spirits in form on this planet. And so I'm just going to do a little drumming with you, and then we'll call in our souls to experience this adventure with us, starting with our higher selves. So that part of us that is the most connected to source. Just go ahead and breathe from your belly. Thank the creator of all that is for being here with us now in this moment in time. And we thank the creator for giving us life, this life of humanity, human beings, allowing the spirit of all that is to teach us about who we are and allowing us to have this human adventure today. We ask that all of our guides, teachers, and angels now assist us with this transmission, this wonderful creation of Mac and David and Pam being the vessels for source and our guides to work through. And we thank the beings of light that are also here for us to assist in this transmission. And we also thank those that will be watching this program after today. Thank you for the honor of being your teachers. Aho.
Aho.
Aho. So my intention for today is that you, as beings of light in bodies, allow yourself to experience what has held you back in your life, what contracts, agreements, oaths, and decisions have held you back from being fully yourself in this lifetime. That is my goal as a teacher. That is my goal as a facilitator. That is my goal as a channel of the light and love of God, to allow you to experience your own transformation. That is my commitment, and that is my soul contract for this lifetime, is to bring that forward. So let's see, soul contracts, what are they?
Well, before you do that, I have a question for you. Can
Yes.
you just recap where we've been in our program so far on this 21-day journey?
I can do that. So the first day we started with fear.
Yes.
We started with fear, yes. Fear has existed in the human experience for a very, very long time on this planet. And with the feeling of fear comes anxiety and depression and wondering and worrying and all of the experience of the what's called the lower chakra system of survival. So the first week was all about survival. We started this program in the midst of our crisis on the planet Earth in 2020. And for those of you who will watch this at a later date, you can bring yourselves back to the time that you remember your own crisis in your own life. And what was that like for you? What was that like for you to experience a life of being human and having no idea how to navigate this human experience? So many of us have experienced that life of shadow, that life of heartlessness, of anxiety and wondering about our futures. That's where we started this program. And then we went through a whole week of exploring what that experience was like for us, to try and figure out how to be with other people. How do we communicate? How do we deal with the news? How do we deal with the uncertainty? How do we deal with other people's issues that they've been dealing with in this time of crisis, whatever that crisis is for them? So then, after that whole 7 days of exploration, all of a sudden, we got to experience, oh, wait, there's a spirit? There's a spirit in me, there's a spirit in you, there's a spirit of the universe. Whoa, that puts on a whole new spin to life as a human. For me, that is what I live every day. I live a life of joy. I live a life of prosperity. I live a life of passion. I live a life that is dedicated and committed to the God of my being and the God of your being and the God that exists in all of creation on this planet. And that is where we've been this week. And so today is the culmination of all of that together into this moment in time. May, whatever it is. What is the date today? May
3rd?
I don't even know. What is it?
It's the May 24th.
What year is
May 24th, 2020. Wow.
What year
So
is
that's where we are today. So, what is a soul contract, you ask? I did a little writing, and I have this in my brain, but I'm also going to read from here because it transmits a different energy than I might come up with in my own head. So what I wrote is, we each have a soul, and that soul has incarnated multiple times to play on the earth's playground. So as a soul, this is your playground, the earth. Each time we incarnate, we have a mission or contract to do certain things, learn certain lessons, perform certain tasks. We're like actors in a play, and each of us has, as individuals, have a part. Many times we have old contracts that are still running when we incarnate and don't know that they're running until we allow ourselves to discover them through inquiry, through self-examination, through the discovery of our soul contracts. We can find out why many of our patterns and habits have been happening. That is the big journey as souls on this planet is, why have we done the things we've done? Why do we have these patterns that just continue on and on and on and on, and we keep running up against the problems time after time after time again? Well, guess what? There's a way out. It's called deep soul searching. It's going into that shadow and being willing to look at those things. It's being willing to ask the question, who am I? What am I all about? What do I want even? Who here is willing to ask, what do they want? What do I want? What am I about? What's my future hold? That's what we get to do in this time, at this moment. So a very easy way to look at soul contracts is simply to take a moment and breathe. Breathe and ask. Breathe and ask. What am I here to do in this lifetime? Ask your higher self, that part of you that is so connected to your soul, that part of you that is connected to the universe, with the stars and the moon and the sun, and all the planets. Ask all of the universe, what am I here to do? What's my mission? And then allow yourself to surrender to that. Just go ahead and ask. There we go. So in this moment, I'll ask you, David, what did you hear when you asked that question?
Well, I'm going to change to my view for a moment. So we've been on this journey together for a long time, and you know many of the things that I want to do and are committed to doing and have been doing. And a little later on in this program, I'll tell my story of the moment that it switched. There's actually two moments. One when I met you, and then another one that I did on my own. The most on my own I've ever been. So I've been engaged in that. The great body of work that I'm here to do on the planet is yet to come, but it's right around the corner. And it keeps coming back to that. I discovered my purpose, my soul's mission, my soul contract. And, I'm grateful for this concept because it can seem, and it has seemed, like you're just I'm lost in a sea of uncertainty. And I still have uncertainty every day in many ways, but not about this, not about what I'm here to do. So it's to connect. And I'm glad to be able to help you connect these messages to other people.
I'm really grateful for the part that you're playing in my life and the part that you're playing in the creation of this program, which is a vital part of the human experience for me in this lifetime, is to present this body of work to the world. So thank you. So Mac, what have you discovered so far when you asked that question, who am I and why am I here? Well, what did you answer?
That's the question, isn't it? That's the question, is who am I? And actually the journey is the answer, right? Mm. That's what we're here to figure out. Mm-hmm. People think we gotta rush and get it. No, take your time. It's what the whole thing is about. Who am I?
Yes.
Who am I? And you discover that in multi-dimensional ways every day as we go along. What I got, Source said, you know what you're here to do. And I said, uh-huh. And it has to do with acting. It has to do with telling stories and making characters that have power, that speak to the truth. And I think we're seeing a lot of different paradigms being torn down. And I think that's part of what I am going to be doing in Hollywood. And yeah, so and teaching and all that. And I'm just getting ready. And I wanted to speak to Dave, to your thought about uncertainty, because I think that's so part of the experience too. You know, like we all have that. Every single one of us, even the most confident person up on stage or whatever, still has uncertainty. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
What's coming to me is so for those that don't know, well, you don't know me yet, but you will. I had an experience where I was guided to the mountains of Southern Washington, and I got to experience some Sasquatch stuff, and they were kind of heralds for me. And what I learned from them was to find the eye of the hurricane. And what that means to me, what I experienced in those woods, was to, when you're in terror, when you're in fear, to sit in that, to sit in the middle of that and let it wash over you. You know, let it wash over you. If you push against it, it gets stronger, and you can't push the river. So to find that place of serenity and peace within that terror and that fear and that uncertainty, so that you're in the eye of the hurricane, and the whole world could be falling apart around you, like we're seeing in a lot of ways, you know, on the world stage, a lot of chaos, and you can still be in that peace. You can still be in that tranquility, you know, and to come from that place and affect that chaos, you know. So awesome. I think be able to hold both. Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
Well,
thank you for those thoughts.
Thank you.
I will look at the cards that actually I pulled this morning, and David, maybe you can point out that the first one is the war bonnet. So looking at, how many of us, maybe in our past and even in our present, have been warring against something, right?
Yeah.
Things that we didn't even know. Yes, David.
Can you back up for a moment and just talk about this process here of choosing cards? Why do we do it? It was introduced in our sacred items section a few days ago.
Yes. So sacred items with cards. Cards are a wonderful way to explore who we are as spirit in form, and they guide us to, like, they act as a mirror for us. So when we pick cards of any sort, or, you know, read something in a book, or we hear music, it spurs us into introspection. And so David and I, and our daughter Sarah Rose, we have been using cards for many, many years to explore this phenomenon of who we are. And David and I picked cards this morning, and the cards that I have here, they are what are they? They're the Sacred Path cards, Native American Sacred Path cards. And I picked the war bonnet there, and is it victory that's on that card, David? Is that what it says?
Advance.
Advance, okay. So what I got was that, you know, it's okay for me to set down the war bonnet. I can stop the war inside of myself that keeps coming up against my limits, keeps coming up against the problems, keeps coming up against the anxieties, and actually put the war bonnet down and say, I'm done.
Yep.
That's a choice. And then the next one after that is what? The void? The great mystery?
Great mystery, which says original source.
Oh, okay. So I get to go back to, or forward to, my great source, the source of all that is in the universe. And I get to say, ask that source, what do I get to do today? How do I get to play today? What limits do I get to stop today? How can I surprise myself today? That was the message for me in that card. And then the next card is what? Yes.
So it's interesting that the great mystery comes after the war bonnet, after you've put the war bonnet down, and then you go to sleep, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the next one after that, David, is
dream time with unlimited vision.
Yes.
Ooh, yes. So many of us in our unconscious, especially in our dreams, we get to have the exploration of the other worlds, if you will. So we have access to unlimited vision as beings of soul, and our unconscious self is what we get to access when we go to sleep at night, or we go to sleep anytime. It's the part of it when we put our conscious mind down and put it aside, we get to have those parts of us that are waiting to be explored show up. Yeah. So it's a wonderful time to explore that. And the next
Finally,
one is?
We have counting coup victory.
Okay, all right. So the Native Americans, yes, they had a lot of war happening. They had a lot of fighting for their rights. They still are. And it was a very important time for them to be able to have victory over what they believed was right for them. And as human beings, whoever you are, watching this program or exploring in your own life, it's important for you to claim your victories as you go through this process of transformation. And the other part of this particular card for me is that I don't have to continue the fight. I don't have to continue warring with other people just because they think differently than I do. Right. This is actually having victory over who I've thought I was, who I have held on to as my identity, and actually being able to release that and have victory and celebration
Mastery
over every part of me. So yes, you were going to say something, Matt.
Oh, I was saying mastery over yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Once you have mastery over yourself, you really don't need to contend with others, you know, or less. You do it less, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome. So, yes, honey.
So you were going to tell the quick version of a story that you can tell a bigger version of, a longer version, in the next video. But can you tell your story, your great story, the short version of your big spiritual awakening that these cards also represent?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So in 2001, we had another crisis that happened on planet Earth. And that particular crisis we know as 9/11. Right. If you back up a few months before that, so that happened in September. Yes. September, thank you. Go back in time a little bit to April of that year, and I had my own really near-death experience, an opening of my soul to its soul contract on this planet. And through a series of a stroke and a hospitalization, which resulted in a coma for 10 days, that was a large opening for me for what I was here to do. Prior to that, I had a lot of opening in my soul for releasing a lot of excess debris, if you will, drugs and alcohol, a lot of problems in my life with communication, a lot of struggle around finances, a lot of struggle with other people, a lot of wondering who I was and what I was here to do. And when I had my near-death experience and came out of that, it took about a year of really putting together this new life that I was then to get to explore and have open for me. And since then, since 2001, I have been actually surrendering to my many soul contracts that I have opened up to and let go of the soul contracts that no longer serve me. So that's really in a nutshell kind of what has happened. I call it the powwow of the angels that I got to experience in that 10 days. And since then, I often go back to that time in history to remember. And the cards this morning really kind of allowed me to look at where I've been, look at the war inside of myself that I've experienced, and the connection on the deepest level that I've ever known with the creator of all that is, and my guides, teachers, and angels that are here for me every day of my life. And really looking at what my life's all about, the connection, as David said, with other people, with my soul, with my purpose, with my life's mission. And making a commitment is really what it's all about for me. And I invite you to do the same. Make a commitment to being absolutely 100% on purpose. That's what soul contract is all about.
Yeah.
Making the commitment. So I invite you, my beautiful men that have joined me today, to make a commitment 100% to your soul.
Yeah. Amen. Absolutely.
Oh.
So, David, do you want to go with your cards?
I'll take my turn with this as well. As Pam said, our family uses cards in the morning to kind of activate for the day, but I found this to be an incredibly rich experience where I look at the cards and I glean from them the spiritual information I need. It could be a reflection of the past. It could be what I need next. It could just be an affirmation of what I need in that moment. And this morning, as we were preparing to do this video, we both got card readings that really represented our big spiritual journey. So I'll share that with you now. The deck that I'm going to show you that I used this morning is called Sacred Geometry. It's an amazing deck. Hopefully you can see some of it, and they are much more intricate than what will show up on the video. So this first card is Pele's Summons, and it's a figure who has some, it looks like he's wearing a fire scarf and his head is being activated as if he's on fire, and then there's some symbols there that are coming out, emanating from the middle of him. And next I got the Sanctuary card, which is this beautiful forest of really lit trees, and there's a path through the middle of it, and in the middle of the forest you find the green Taurus, which is like this, at least for me, it was this rich treasure that is in depth, and it's in the heart of the forest. The last card is the Mountain Apus, which is sort of like the apex of the mountain. And what I got with that is taking the information I got from the center of the forest on my quest up to the mountaintop and spreading it like a rainbow
Oh my
across
God.
the land. And
That's just
for me, this is a representation of the vision quest and spirit journey that I went on in 2004. Yes, 2004, when our daughter was just about to be born. And I was up on top of a mountain for 4 days on a vision quest. Another time, Mac, you and I need to swap stories because maybe we have some
sure we
similar
do.
stories. But it was an amazing experience. And the first 3 days were very pleasant weather, and I sat in a circle without food. I had water, but I had no tent, and I had no food. And it was a test of endurance as well, and just to kind of see what would happen for me there. And the point was that I would receive a vision. And the irony is, I didn't receive a vision on that vision quest. It didn't come until 7 years later, and boy, did it come. But on the vision quest itself, that last night was, I consider to be my own near-death experience, because there was a storm, and it was a rainstorm that flooded the river that I was just next to. It raised that little stream up, I don't know, I'm guessing 2 or 3 feet to a rushing river before I possibly could have waded in it. And after that storm, I would have been swept away by it. I also had an encounter with large wildlife then, but I didn't know it at the time, but there was a bear nearby because bear tracks were found the next morning. And I received many messages that night. And it was, you know, I found myself wondering if, you know, do people die from hypothermia because I was so cold and soaked for so many hours. But I received a message in the middle of the night when the storm broke that it was okay now, it was safe, I could come through the storm. And I've taken those experiences with me for my life. And this was another representation of, oh yeah, that's where my true soul's purpose and my soul contract, I first began to get a hold of that.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And yes, you guys definitely need to talk.
Yeah.
Another time. I'm so glad that you're both here. So Mac, we have a couple of decks that we thought that you might be inspired to use.
Okay.
David, I'm definitely thinking the soul cards would be an awesome experience for him, but he might also want to choose the room. Is that Rumi?
Yeah, Rumi.
Rumi deck. And then the other one is one you just got, David. What is that one?
This is, yeah. So this is the Sacred Earth Oracle. They all have some soul components in it. These are soul cards, Sacred Earth cards, and Rumi Oracle, an invitation into the heart of the divine.
Wow.
So
I love me some Rumi. What's tugging at me is soul cards. Can we mix? Can we do 2 soul cards and 2 Rumi? Or is that?
Yep.
Of course.
This is made to order, so yes, of course,
Yes.
I can do that.
Perfect.
So those of you who are watching or will watch this program know that because we live in a world of spirit and soul, you have the opportunity to release any judgment that you have about the right way.
Yep.
That's what another big message that I have for you in this program is you get to release the judgment and the laws that have governed you probably for lifetimes. So as you're looking at releasing your soul contracts that no longer work for you, consider letting go of the rule book and just allowing yourself to explore.
Very top right, Dave. Very top right. Oh, that one. Yeah, very top. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then how about a favorite number?
3.
Okay. You want to do the same for the next deck?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. It'll take me a moment.
This is a very fun way that we play.
I like it.
Do you have any decks yourself yet, Mac?
No, I don't. Not yet.
So what I know about you, I will let the audience know that Mac and I have been working together since 2018. It's been a joy and a privilege to do that. And so I'm just going to tell a little bit that what I know about you is that you have just come out of your dark night of the soul.
Yep.
And that you are emerging as a new being. And this is part of it. So I invite you, whenever you can, to get yourself some cards, get yourself some tools, so that you can explore who you are as spirit and form.
That's so good, because that's what I was receiving now is like, I've played around with them every now and then, but I really think I should get some. And I think I'm pretty intuitive about it. So it's good.
It's an amazing experience.
How about I can get some now?
I can get, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Words.
There you go.
Okay. So
all right,
here's the first one. I'm going to bring that up a bit so you can see it. Actually, I'm going to switch the, hang on just a moment for the benefit of our viewers. There we go. That will help me show you. So what we have is this, the first one here of the soul cards.
What's coming to me is a priest, just the very, very sacred teacher, priest that you came in as we all came in as.
Nice. Okay.
And dreams, something about dream time as well. Yeah.
So we have a male figure here. This is very clearly a female figure. Also apparently in prayer.
So balancing male and female energies, within yourself, which is often, it goes back to the war bonnet, what causes the war quite a bit. Sometimes the war between the masculine and the feminine within yourself quite a bit. Yeah. They can work together. They can pray together. Yeah.
For the first of the Rumi cards, this is, just in case you can't see it, the Star Mother Arrakis. And there is a female face in the middle of that nebula, if you can't make that out.
I see it, yeah.
Can you bring it closer up to to yours, David, so that we can see it better?
Yeah, I think it's the light, the glare from the light. You can barely kind of make out that there's a female face there, but she's there.
Yeah, I think I need to see the other card to see what this one means.
Yep. Well, this is the Whirling Goddess.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what I can share with you, both of you, but also with the viewers that are going to be seeing this program, is that we are at a time of the sacred feminine.
Yep.
We have been birthing the sacred feminine for a while, but this is an absolute confirmation that the sacred feminine is speaking to all of us, and that is the message, it is time to bring the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine together and marry them. It is time. It's overdue.
Yeah.
We have done a lot of work as a species to create this moment. This is the moment to bring them together. That's why I'm so honored that I get to have my brothers here.
Me too. Yeah.
I get my sacred brothers, my sacred soulmate, and my sacred brother together with me in this moment.
Honored. Yeah.
So, so what an amazing experience for your cards, Mac, to bring those together
and
for you to learn.
I would say, too, that you were talking about bringing the feminine and the masculine together in the world sense. I think it starts with each person, because each person, we all have masculine and feminine, And I can say from the masculine side too, we're tearing down those paradigms as well, because we have the game too. You know, like there's the female game and then there's the male game that we've been everybody puts each other in these little boxes, you know, and we're tearing those down too, and we're marrying both our masculine and our feminine together, because that's wholeness, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Super.
Mac, I can tell you that after this is over, I'll take a picture of these cards and send them to you so you have a nice high resolution image to go from.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Awesome. So, as I said, the name of the game is release. Release and surrender into who you are as a soul. And the way to release sacred contracts that you have held on to, and sacred ways of being that you've held on to, even through lifetimes that no longer serve you in this lifetime, is to simply be willing to stop the contract from running you. If you want more information about that, of course, I am absolutely available to you separately from this program if you need more assistance to do that. But it's really about surrendering to what is so right now. So as we release what no longer serves us, and we step into who we are now, then we get to have a brand new world open up.
Whole new world.
That's right. Not just for ourselves, but for everyone. We actually give others permission to do the same. We act as a mirror for each other. Yes, David.
I believe we have a short step process to use this energy. Is that right?
Yes, we do. So as we look at contracts, we simply can use our breath and create a place of stillness within. So allow your breath to be your barometer for stilling your mind, bringing your focus inward, and asking, am I ready to surrender to my soul and release what no longer serves me? And am I ready to open to my soul and what is next for me? And then listen. Use that information to choose your path. Choose your path and what you are being guided to by Spirit. Because Spirit is always talking. Spirit is always talking and guiding in every moment, for every reason, and sometimes for no reason. Simply because we've chosen to be human. So Spirit speaks.
Yeah.
So you can use the phrase, I am. And whatever follows I am is what you're actually speaking into existence to the universe.
Exactly.
So I am light. I am love. Yeah. I am joy. I am power. I am the one that came here to bring this universe everything that I am.
Yeah.
Mm.
I am birthing myself. And I could go on and on and on with that. But it's whatever follows I am is what you are claiming as the truth for you. So really look at your words as power. So is there something you would like to claim right now? Mac, David? And speak that into existence.
Well, I can.
Go ahead.
Okay. I can. What came to me and I was looking at the wonderful hanging behind you, Pam, with the chakras. And in that moment, I remembered one of the songs that I'm going to choose for this particular day. And it's not set up yet, but it will be soon. And it's just called I Am Light by India Arie. And it's an amazing song. I've loved music all of my life, and I connect deeply to it. And I'm one of those people that if I happen to just randomly turn on the radio, 9 times out of 10, I'll hear the song that I need to know right then. You know, whether it's Eye of the Tiger or just wait and sit by, the answers will be there soon. You know, it's channeled information for me. But the I Am Light song is amazing, and I realize that kind of what it comes down to me. But if I were to go further, I would say I am the soul of connection. I have in the past written a longer and amazing vision and purpose statement. You and I both have, Pam, and we can share those another time, perhaps a week from today when we complete and conclude this program. That would be a good thing to include. But I would say for now, I am the spirit of soul connection. How about you, Mac?
Oh yeah, what came to me was sovereignty. I am my own sovereign being, and that's a lesson and process that I'm doing right now. And I think it's probably the tail end of the dark night of the soul. That's probably the lesson that you're coming to, is sovereignty. I love my family, but I have a family that doesn't believe in any of this. It doesn't, you know, I'm talking about parents and sisters and whatever. And there's been a lot of contention, and I've had to learn, you know, at first you try to heal them, and then you try to teach them, and then you try, you know, and you can move the dial a little bit, but you kind of have to come to a place of leaving people where they're at, and having that be okay, having that be all right. And, you know, universe never interferes. You know, it's not about force, it's about allowance. So you have to allow that person to be there and to come out of it when they're ready, or not.
Absolutely.
And then you have to let yourself off that hook, you know, too.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You don't have to stay. You don't have to agree with that and give yours up. But you can hold on to your sovereignty and still allow somebody to have theirs too, and have their beliefs, you know. And it goes back to what we were saying before of mastery of yourself. You know, and
absolutely.
Comes out of it.
Absolutely.
You don't have that need for them to believe just so that you believe, you know. It's you can believe your own thing, and they can believe theirs, you know, and still stay in your power and still speak up and still have your own opinion. So yeah,
that's great.
Yes. So there's knowledge that I have come to around family, and also around human beings, that we as souls chose to come into human form. We actually chose this form, and we chose our families. This is another knowledge that I have been given. And especially when we realize, oh my goodness, I chose my family. Right? It can be a little hard to look at that. And there's a huge knowledge of wisdom that we get to experience with our families. That's like our biggest learning ground, is looking at our family systems and taking it on as a body of work. And once again, I will share with you that are listening and will listen after this, that body of work is something that I can help you with, because there are soul contracts in there that are ready to be done. If you say so, you take it on as a willingness to release, and I'll help you in every way I can to release.
Pam, if I could speak to the experience of you doing that work with me.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of contention with the family, a lot of toxicness, a lot of sickness, control games, a lot of narcissism, control, blah, 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 on and on and on, right? And what was it, maybe a week ago? Time is weird. Maybe a week ago, you asked me if I was ready to rip up that contract with them and to bring in the new one. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I am. I've done all the work that I can do around it. And to go further with it would just be kicking a dead horse or whatever, you know, it would only do detriment to me. So yeah, I'm done. And so you led me through that visualization and that experience of, you know, using with dragons or fire, burning up that contract and calling in the new contract and owning it and claiming it and really feeling it. And so then that night, because I had gone to the park just to look at the water or something, and while we were talking, and because it's peaceful there. And that night, I came home because I'm visiting my parents right now, here for them just in case things go sideways. So that's where I'm at in Ohio. I came home and my mom had cooked a family dinner, and I can't tell you the last time that happened. And it just was me and my dad and my mom, and we sat down at the table and had this just amazing dinner with no contention, no drama. It was just like old times. It was fun. And if what it felt like to me, it was almost like our higher selves were sitting together and having a celebration.
Nice.
You know?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What a confirmation. What a confirmation of the work.
yeah, it's real. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for that experience. Thank you for sharing that. And you will, yes, David.
Oh, I have something to offer. I just realized that, you know, in the world of sacred contracts, our families have a contract to support us, whether they know it or not, whether they're conscious of it or not. It's especially maybe the unconscious parts and all that we have to deal with and the opposites that we may encounter, but that's not the way that I want it. But it's the way that maybe our souls need it to push us into the areas that we need to in order to grow. So whether it's good or bad, however we, you know, label that, our families as they are contracted support us in our growth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. We all, each soul chooses to come together to learn certain lessons. And that's the thing to remember and to really kind of lean into is there really are no victims in life. Okay? That I am not saying that victimization does not happen. I am not saying that bad things, quote unquote, don't happen. I'm saying that it's choice. Once a person realizes they've been victimized by the world, by an abuser, by somebody who attacked them, by whatever the circumstances are, once they realize that and they get support around that, then they become a person of choice of how they're going to deal with it. Okay? That's the human experience. Then we get to a place of, okay, now I have the facts. Now I know what is possible. Now I actually get to see a life without this kind of pattern. Then I get to be a choice. And I always talk about choice in every single video that we're doing in this program. So you, as a soul, get to choose who you are, what you're about, what you want to experience, what you're ready to let go of. Are you ready to let go of experiencing life as a victim to circumstances?
Right.
Are you ready?
And I would say
So
too, oh, go ahead.
yes.
That even within that choice, it's okay if it's not all at once. You know, like,
Of course.
go that victim. It's just kind of a process sometimes, you know, and that's okay. That's all right.
Of course it is. Of course it is. If it was instant, we'd have no reason to be in human form. It wouldn't even be a thought. It'd be like we would be floating around in the heavens and going from planet to planet and not ever incarnating into human form, because we'd already have completed all our lessons. So this is our playground, this human experience on Earth. So let's talk about.
Well, I think David has something.
Oh yes, honey.
I was just going to say that that's a great place to go into next week, because next week is all about play, and you have a couple more things to talk about for today.
Yes, yes. So every day we look at different things to toolbox. We look at the toolbox that we're creating for our lives. And we looked at our sacred items today for creating our soul contracts in this lifetime. So you might look at your heirlooms, for instance, as a way to access the soul that you are. You might look at why you have particular items that you care about. You might look at items that you've received from other people as gifts. And why are they important to you? What do they stir in you? What do you have there, David?
Batman.
Oh,
man.
Batman. Oh, yeah.
Dave, that was just a confirmation for me, so thank you. Source is funny. Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
For the benefit of our viewers, I'm going to zoom in on that. Batman has always been an inspiration to me. He's my favorite superhero, and what I love about him is that he's just a man. He doesn't actually have any superpowers. He just has his fortune and his intellect and his drive for justice, and I find him an endless bit of inspiration. And the point of introducing this rather perhaps ordinary object is it's not ordinary to me, and that's the point. What is sacred to you is sacred to you, and there's an instant connection there to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to bring this close so that you can actually see it. I have, whoops.
Go up.
There we go. There we go. Up. That is my wedding ring. That is very sacred to me. And that journey of the sacred with wedding ring, there's David's, awesome. That has been an absolute amazing journey for us as a married couple. Looking at the sacred contract that we made back in 2002, where we said that we would stick with each other through thick and thin until this life is complete. And we've had a rocky road with that contract, but we come back to it and we renew it every day. And we look at that as a real honor to be together. Mm-hmm. So what is something that is special to you, Mac, that you would call a sacred item?
Well, it's not necessarily an item, but it's a being.
Oh, yes. Hello, buddy.
That's Jet. But he is very, very special to me. He's a very special individual. I swear to God, he's either, on his way to being a human in the next, or just came from that. Because he's just an intelligence, there's a personality there. But anyway, that dog, when I was going through the very beginnings of the dark night and went through some really big trials, he sat with me the whole time. Yeah, and never left. Never left.
Yeah.
Very, very,
Yes, and very important. Very important to you. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. So yes, there are many sacred items that I know that you can have in your life and that you do have in your life, and I encourage those of you who are watching this program and other programs like this program to consider that every day you can have as sacred. You can create this vessel, this human vessel, as sacred. You can create items and things in your life as sacred. You can create your whole world as sacred.
Yeah.
I invite you to take that on as a project. The name of my business is Bright Butterfly Enterprises for a reason, because you can take on your life as a project and make it a sacred, wonderful experience. So the next video after this, after we're done here, I'm actually going to do an activation for you, creating your own release of your old sacred contracts and bringing in what is next for you in this sacred contract for yourself. And next week, we get to experience the culmination of the last 2 weeks of this program, from fear all the way to full body system wellness and expression in the world. I look forward to doing that with you. Any last words that either of you would like to say before we finish this program?
Thank you very much for hosting this. I hope that anybody watching will glean a lot of inspiration, and there's certainly many directions to go from this. So I'm hoping that our audience finds these videos and program useful.
Thank you, David. What about you, Mac?
I would say not to let fear get in the way of your progress, and it seems simple, right?
It does seem simple, like you know.
Exactly. Exactly, but it's doable, you know. And find that eye of the hurricane, find that place of serenity and peace within you, even though all that stuff's going on around you, you know.
Of course.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you to both of you so much. Thank you for having me as a guest, and it was fun to play and talk with you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I have an affirmation that I'm going to share with you, that this is a really wonderful way to play in the world of spirit, by the way, and transformation, is to just come up with different affirmations that serve you, so that they can be a little bit of a stretch for you, but they also allow you to experience who you are as human in form and spirit embodiment. This affirmation goes with the soul contracts. So as of this moment, I allow my soul to release the contracts, oaths, and agreements that no longer serve me. And I allow the new contracts, oaths, and agreements that serve my soul to fully activate for my fullest transformation now. So we will have that in the documents. So you are welcome to take that on as your own affirmation, or come up with your own outside of that affirmation, and take on this amazing journey of spirit and form as your greatest expression of who you are in life. Thank you all for this honor and privilege and opportunity to fully integrate who you are, where you've been, and where you're going. Blessings of love and light to both of you and all of you who are watching. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you for listening to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright on Transformation Talk Radio. Tune in to learn more about living a fully empowered life. Remember that your life is up to you, and you can choose the spiritual path you are on. There is spiritual energy and wisdom in everything and everyone around you. Listen carefully for what the universe is trying to tell you in every moment. You are already being guided along your journey. Call upon your spirit guides anytime you need help with anything. Know that you are safe in every moment, even if it seems that you are not. For more information about Pam Bright, visit brightbutterflyenterprises.com or email theempowermeshow@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you next week.